Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at Noon.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cool News at Noon. Today is October 15, 2024 and here are the up-to-date headlines that you need to know. Twelve fishermen returned safely on Monday to Barangay Calapatayan in this town or Supit Zambales after being rescued by the Philippine Coast Guard in the West Philippine Sea. The PCG's PRP Cabra was patrolling the West Philippine Sea when it received a distress call on October 12 about the distressed FPCA Nahuel J2. Upon responding, the PCG discovered that the boat's main engine had suffered a broken crankshaft pulley. The PCG towed the vessel back to shore, ensuring the safe return of its crew to their families in Subic. Two phreatic or steam-driven eruptions were observed again at Tall Volcano in Pantacas Province, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology PhilFox reported on Tuesday. PhilFox told in court that night that both eruptions occurred on Monday. The first eruption happened from 5:33 a.m. to 5:37 a.m., while the second was recorded from 7:03 p.m. to 7:10 p.m. Tall Volcano also recorded two minor phreatic eruptions on Sunday, which lasted from 3 to 30 minutes. Steam-driven eruptions also occurred last Thursday and Friday that went on for 6 minutes and 2 minutes, respectively. A volcanic smoke or fog appeared last Thursday, prompting 4 tons in Pantacas to cancel classes. The volcano emitted 2,964 tons of sulfur dioxide, with flames reaching 900 meters tall and spreading towards the southwest. PhilFox warned that entering Tall Volcano Island and flying any aircraft near the volcano premises were prohibited. It also reminded the public that steam-driven explosions, volcanic earthquakes, minor ashfall, and explosions of volcanic gas can occur. A magnitude 4.3 earthquake struck the waters of Hinatuan Town in Surigao del Sur on Tuesday morning, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology PhilFox reported. The state seismologists said that the magnitude 4.3 tectonic tremor occurred at 7:42 a.m. on Tuesday, and its epicenter was 98 kilometers east of Hinatuan Town. It had a shallow depth of 7 kilometers. PhilFox initially reported that the earthquake had a magnitude of 4.5 with a depth of 30 kilometers. This was an aftershock of the magnitude 7.4 earthquake that hit Surigao del Sur on December 2, 2023, PhilFox said. The institute also noted that there are no expected damages or aftershocks. No data on reported intensities were raised in other areas have been made as of this record. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. announced on Tuesday that the Philippines will be leading the initiative in developing an international legal instrument for the protection of persons in the event of disasters. Marcos made the statement during the opening ceremony of the 2024 Asia-Pacific Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction at the Philippine International Convention Center. In his speech, Marcos underscored the need to advocate for stronger international legal frameworks involving disaster prevention and response. He highlighted that the Philippines is ready to support and lead this cause. We must advocate for stronger international legal frameworks that guide disaster prevention and response, said Marcos in his speech. The Philippines is proud to lead the initiative toward developing an international legal instrument for the protection of persons in the event of disasters, he added. According to Marcos, the legal instruments he mentioned aim to fill gaps in international disaster response laws. It will also aim to uphold the right and dignity of affected individuals. The APMCDRR is currently being held at the Philippine International Convention Center, or PICC, in Pasay City and will run until October 18. More than 4,000 delegates from 69 countries are participating in the event. Also, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. announced on Tuesday that 143 Filipinos have been pardoned by the United Arab Emirates. Marcos made the announcement after a phone call with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. It is always inspiring to hear how our Filipino workers continue to excel and make a positive contribution in the UAE, said Marcos in a social media post. I express my gratitude for the kindness extended to them, particularly the generous pardon of 143 Filipinos, which has brought relief to many families, he added. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega, the 143 Filipinos were pardoned in June during the celebration of Eid al-Adha. These were not for major offenses like death penalty cases, but for relatively minor cases, said de Vega in the Fiber message to Inquiry.net. Meanwhile, Marcos said that he also expressed gratitude to Zayed for the humanitarian aid provided by the UAE to the Philippines after recent typhoons and flooding. The president then renewed his commitment to strengthening the partnership between the UAE and the Philippines, noting how both countries share strong bonds rooted in the values and aspirations of our peoples. The Department of Information and Communications Technology is looking for a service provider to roll out satellite-based internet services across 150 locations in NTIQ as it ramps up connectivity in the province. The government agency issued this month the invitation to bid for the 56.76 million pesos contract. Interested parties have until November 5 to submit their proposals. According to the bidding documents, the service provider must have the capacity to provide a subscription to internet access via low Earth orbit satellite. The DICT sets requirement of 220 megabits per second for download speed and 25 megabits per second for upload speed. The DICT said the private sector partners shall provide hardware, backup power supply, and other services needed to make the internet available all the time. Apart from internet access, the chosen service provider must have cybersecurity measures in place to block digital attacks like phishing and malicious software. The chosen partner must deliver the service and installation within 30 days upon receipt of the notice to proceed. This project is in line with the ICT's free Wi-Fi program, which aims to improve internet connectivity in public places across the country, including public parks, plazas, libraries, broadband centers, national and local government offices, public basic education institutions, state universities and colleges, public hospitals, rural health kits, public airports and seaports, and public transport terminals. In its latest report, the ICT said its free Wi-Fi program benefits 9.8 million users across 1,401 cities and municipalities, including 3,040 geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. In rural areas, the construction of traditional infrastructure like cellular towers is deemed challenging because of the location. Satellite technology, as such, is being tapped as a connectivity solution in these areas because it does not rely on on-ground facilities. The country, in fact, has been seeing several entries of foreign satellite players after the government granted tech mogul Elon Musk's Starlink Internet Service Philippines license to operate as an internet service provider in 2022. These include US-based companies Astranis and Intelsat and Luxembourg-based connectivity solutions firm SES. The need for internet access has been emphasized since the COVID-19 pandemic forced the public to do the usual tasks, shopping, payment, and banking, among others, via online platforms. It also led to the rise of hybrid setups, mix of offline and online, for both work and schools. And now for the weather, the eastern portion of Luzon and Visayas will see cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday due to the eastern lights, the state weather agency said. In an early morning report, Rhea Torres, a weather expert of the Pagasa, said the eastern lights continue to prevail over parts of the country. Specifically, she noted that Isabela, Aurora, and Quezon will have overcast skies with scattered rains. Metro Manila, the rest of Luzon, and eastern Visayas will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms on Tuesday, October 15th. Meanwhile, other parts of the country will see localized thunderstorms, the Pagasa specialist added. Localized thunderstorms are descendant of brief downpours are highly possible by afternoon or evening, Torres said in Filipino. Pagasa likewise reported that as of 4 a.m. on Tuesday, no low-pressure area was spotted within and around the Philippine area of responsibility. Pagasa issued no gale warning for the country's major seaport. Coming up later on koolNews at noon, 2 drug suspects arrested with 802,000 pesos worth of shubu in Rizal, Laguna. Over 14.6 million pesos mid recovered from waters of Zambales, Bataan. An Indonesian Navy ship visits the Philippines. And in international headlines, Paris courts black voters as Trump makes inroads. King Charles III heads to Australia and Commonwealth meeting. And in entertainment news, Ia Villana emits worries over fifth pregnancy at her age, 38. It is now 12:10 in the afternoon, and we will get back into more national, international, and along with showbiz headlines when we return here on Cool News at 2. Stick around with us, we will be right back. It's 12:18 in the afternoon and welcome back to koolNews at 2. Let's continue with the headlines. Two suspected major drug traffickers were apprehended on Monday, October 14 in bypass operations in Rizal and Laguna province. The operation resulted in the seizure of more than 802,000 pesos worth of shabu, according to the police. The Police Regional Office 4A, PRO 4A reported that anti-narcotics operatives in Antipolo City, Rizal, apprehended Jericho at 10 p.m. after he sold a pack of shabu to an undercover police officer in Barangay San Roque. Seized from the suspect, classified as a high-value individual or HVI in the illegal drugs trade, were 13 plastic sachets containing shabu weighing 85 grams worth 757,316 pesos. In Calamba City, Laguna, a police drug enforcement unit arrested Alvin at 1:30 p.m. in Barangay San Cristobal. The suspect, recognized as a street-level drug pusher in the locality, was found with 7 sachets containing 35 grams of shabu worth 224,800 pesos and a digital weighing scale. Rizal and Laguna police are conducting further investigations to determine the source of the illegal drugs. 2 mobile phones were seized during the operations and will be examined for records of drug transactions. Both suspects are under police custody and are facing complaints of violating the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. More than 14.62 million pesos worth of suspected shabu was recovered Monday by local fishermen from the waters of Zambales and nearby Bataan. 8 fishermen from Barangay Matin in Zambales found 2 plastic bags containing about 1,800 grams of shabu, valued at 12.24 million pesos around 5 p.m. The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Zambales said the illegal drugs were spotted floating near Lubang Island. Later that evening, a fisherman from Barangay Kamaya in Mariveles Town, Bataan, recovered another plastic bag containing around 350 grams of shabu worth 12.38 million pesos. The recovered drugs were handed over to the PDEA offices in Zambales and Bataan and will be transferred to the PDEA National Headquarters for further investigation. PDEA Central Luzon has ordered a joint operation investigation by PDEA offices in Zambales and Bataan to trace the source of the drugs and determine any possible connections between the incidents. And the Indonesian Navy training ship KRI Bima Susi arrived in Manila on Tuesday morning for a 4-day goodwill visit. The vessel docked at Pier 15 in Sart Harbor around 9 a.m. According to the Indonesian embassy, the ship is on its mission to spread peace and goodwill to 8 countries, including the Philippines, its last stop before heading back to Indonesia. Other countries it already visited are Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, China, South Korea, Russia, and Japan. During its 4-day stay in the Philippines, the ship's crew will conduct a drum band display and cultural parade at the Legazpi Active Park in Makati City on October 16. The event will highlight Indonesian-Philippine cultural performances and a parade of traditional customs. It will also have an open ship invitation for the public on the morning of October 16 and an onboard reception for the diplomatic community on October 17, the embassy said. According to the embassy, the KRI Bima Susi's visit to the Philippines is also part of a year-long celebration commemorating the 75th anniversary of Indonesia and the Philippines' diplomatic relations this year. It is the ship's 3rd visit to the Philippines following its first in October 2018 and second in August 2019. KRI Bima Susi was launched in September 2017. It is one of the largest stalled ships worldwide and can load up to 200 people. Time for international headlines as Kamala Harris stepped up efforts to win back black male voters who are drifting to Donald Trump as the presidential rivals headed to dual campaign events Monday in the crucial battleground of Pennsylvania. The White House race is on a knife edge, which is over 3 weeks ago, but the Democratic Vice President's marginal advantage over the Republican former president in the polls has eroded in recent days. In a rare move, Harris will also sit down for an interview with Trump-friendly Fox News on Wednesday to reach out to undecided right-leaning voters put off by the former president and counter Republican claims that she is avoiding media scrutiny. Harris has recently lost ground, in particular among black men, a key demographic that helped Joe Biden beat Trump in 2020, and on Monday she launched a new economic plan to curb them. Her opportunity agenda is designed to give them tools to achieve financial freedom, lower costs to better provide for themselves and their families, and protect their rights, her campaign said. I intend to earn the vote of everyone, including black men, Harris said in an interview with the TGON Group, one of two black media outlets she spoke to. Trump and Harris are also locked in a bitter neck-and-neck battle for 7 key U.S. swing states, of which blue-collar Pennsylvania is the biggest prize. Harris is holding a rally in Erie, the northernmost county in the state and a bellwether in U.S. presidential elections since 2008, while Trump held a town hall on the outskirts of Philadelphia. Harris is expected to ramp up her warnings about a second Trump term, seizing on his threats on Sunday that he could use the U.S. military against the enemy from within, including left-wingers. Her campaign will also launch a new television ad featuring his former White House aides, warning of the danger the twice-impeached convicted Falcon would pose if he returns to the Oval Office. Trump meanwhile attacked Harris over her previous comments, saying she would ban fracking, a controversial method of unlocking underground gas and oil deposits that has brought economic benefits to Pennsylvania. Asked about how he would tackle inflation, Trump said, "We're going to do a lot of things," before reacting to border security and media criticism of him, repeatedly bringing up fictional serial killer Hannibal Lecter at his campaign events. He was asked what he would do to help small businesses and repeated his promise to slash energy bills in half within a year in office, and criticized hydrogen-fueled cars, arguing that once in a while, one will blow up. Turning to his prospects in November's election, he added, "Our poll numbers have gone through the roof with Black and Hispanic have gone through the roof, and I like that." Monday marks the start of a week-long list of the three so-called Blue Wall battleground states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin this week by Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz. They are known as the Blue Wall because they once rarely voted for Democrats whose signature color is blue, but Trump broke through to win the three states in 2016 before Biden took them back in 2020. Democratic nerves are fraying as Harris' honeymoon after replacing Biden as the party's nominee in July wears off, with the polls stuck and support among Latino voters also ebbing. Former President Barack Obama will campaign in Arizona and Nevada this week in a bid to show up support from Latino voters. Obama caused a stir last week when he chided black men for being reluctant to support Harris. Another former president, Bill Clinton, meanwhile stood for Harris in Georgia, another swing state where Biden won by a tiny margin in 2020. Kamala Harris will be a fine president, Clinton told supporters. It is literally possible that the whole election could be decided here. Harris, age 59, meanwhile went on the offensive at the weekend, releasing her medical records and challenging Trump, who is at 78 the oldest presidential nominee in U.S. history, to do the same. Trump responded on X on Monday, saying it was very important that Kamala Harris pass a test on cognitive stigma and agility, calling her slow and erratic in answering even the easiest of questions. And King Charles III this week begins his first tour of Australia as monarch, reigniting debate about whether the country should sever ties with the British monarchy and become a republic. Charles, who was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year, is pausing his treatment for the 9-day tour, which also takes in a Commonwealth summit in the Pacific island nation of Samoa. The two-nation visit comes with growing calls for reparations for slavery from Caribbean leaders whose countries are members of the 56-nation club of mostly former British colonies. In Australia, where Charles is also head of state, anti-monarchist groups have been selling farewell tour merchandise to supporters. The head of Britain's Republic campaign, which wants an elected head of state and has been behind high-profile protests in the UK, including at Charles' coronation, has also made a trip to plan events and demonstrations. Britain's Daily Mirror newspaper, meanwhile, reported that all of Australia's state premiers have turned down invitations to meet the king at the reception in the capital, Canberra. There was no immediate confirmation, but a YouGov poll last year suggested that 1 in 3 Australians supported becoming a republic as soon as possible, while a similar number want to remain a constitutional monarchy. Australian Republic Movement Deputy Chair Adam Spencer insists that support for the monarchy is wavering and that Charles should not be the king of Australian subjects. And finally, in the showbiz or entertainment news, Ila Villalina age 38, got candid about her age and carrying her baby number 5 with husband Drew Aliano, saying she has worries but that she's trusting her body in her pregnancy journey. The actress TV host said this while showing herself working out and lifting weights through her Instagram page last October 11. 3 rounds high effort but I did tamang bundis effort, she said in a caption. Moving while I still can. Fifth pregnancy and just doing what I have done in the past. Can't help but also worry at times because I am 38 years old with this pregnancy, she admitted. But I like to trust that my body will honor the work that I have put in, and as long as I also honor and respect my body through this journey, it will tell me what I need to do. Villaina then expressed the hope that her faith will sustain her as she takes care of the child in her home while attending to her for other children. God trusted me with this for a reason, so I'll do my best to honor him with the gift of movement and carrying this child the best way I know how, she stated. Praying this will be as smooth as the other 4. And that is it for koolNews at noon. As always, if you have any news suggestions or feedback that you'd like to share, you can get in touch with us at tvhphilippines.news@gmail.com. And we will return with another news headlines with koolNews at 4 later before Rock Weekdays with GGG. Until later at 4, I'm Caro. Good afternoon.